Hello, everybody, and welcome back to InfiniteRP in episode 24 of Lost City of Vedranis. Hope you're all doing well. It's so good to see everybody. We're talking about things that should not be talked about in the green room, and they're trying to distract me, and I'm very distracted. And yeah. Let's go around to see what the cast has been up to, other than talking about what we have been talking about in the green room. Derek, let's start with you. Do not mention anything that we talked about in the green room, please.
Absolutely not. It's all in secret. Everything else is still in production, all right? We're still in pre, all right? We're still in pre. At the end of the day, hello, everybody. My name is Derek from atop Derek Mountain. I hope you're doing well. What have I been up to for the past week? Lots of role play, going ahead and playing a lot of games. Halo Infinite dropped. Oh, my God. It has been so good just to pew and to get the nostalgia of just teabagging noobs back at the age of 12 as I once did
My
before.
kid is in the other room playing it right now.
Yeah, kid's a cool fucking kid.
And he's never played it.
He's never played it. Never played a Halo.
No.
Wow.
Is it just the multiplayer or is it the whole thing?
It's just the multiplayer. So overall, just the Get that fucking shit out of here. That shit whack. No, so it's good though. It's fun, it's balanced, it's a great time, and overall that's what I've been up to, you know. And not what we were talking about beforehand.
Thank God. Ray, how have you been? How's your week been?
Hey everybody, I'm Ray or with a brick. My week has been great. My mom came to visit. I got to see my mom, and I got to go to my first Buffalo Bills backer bar in Chicago, which was a really awesome and weird experience to hear people chanting "Let's go Buffalo" in an entirely different city. So that was cool. And I've also been practicing my chops in some role play, but I've been doing some 70s style role play in GTA. It's been a whole lot of fun. I will probably be streaming that sometime soon, I think. So if you're interested in any of that, stay tuned. But besides that, I've been really honestly excited to get back to this here today. I'm ready to cry. I'm ready to be sad. It's going to be a great time. It's going to be such a good time.
I'm definitely excited to see what happens. And I can't wait. I want to watch you stream that GTA stuff because you're talking about it a little bit in the green room. And
yeah, it's coming.
Ray, have you streamed it yet? Ray?
Not yet. But I think I'm gonna do my first stream after the weekend, so early next week. I'll probably do my first GTA stream.
Hell yeah! Stay tuned, everybody. That'd be super cool. Justin, how have you been?
I'm good. I'm great. I'm good. I'm great. I'm good and great. I'm Grood. Great and good. Yes, that was a Homestar Runner reference. I'm Doc Grimbo. Thank you. Teen Girl Squad. Also, apparently, I just realized that Teen Girl Squad is just Princess Biscuits. That's it's the same voice. I'm doing great. Having a good week. We got our youngest her first vaccine shot today because now they're available, and so soon the whole family will be invincible. And and so that feels good. And like Ray, I'm really looking forward to this. I'm in a weird situation where we're remembering a character that I've lost, that we've all lost, that I played, but my new character does not give a shit about this other character. So am I sad? I don't know. So I guess we'll find out.
Guess we'll find out. Yeah, I've been good. By the way,
didn't ask.
Yeah,
no, but I feel like
the game, please.
I'm just gonna hide my webcam. No, just kidding.
We love you, Cole. How are you?
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. It's been an interesting week, but I'm excited because I start my new job on Monday, so I'm really excited for that. So just been doing the role play and things like that. So yeah, it's been good. Trying to think if there's anything else that we need to talk about before.
I do think that we need to commemorate that this is episode 24.
That's a good point.
One step away from 25.
Milestone.
It's the most important. Is that the number of life?
I don't know. It's got a lot of divisible factors.
That's true. Yeah. That's how many hours there are in a day.
Yeah. There
Correct.
we go. That was
Um,
there. It was a yeah, and so therefore was that TV show with
How many
Jack
virgins
Bauer.
I've collected in the past month?
Okay, congratulations, Derek.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Uh huh. Uh huh.
Okay.
I'm sorry. You said 24, so.
Okay. Let's get into a recap real quick so we can hop into this game. Okay. Last we left off, you guys had made a deal with Roderick, one of the head Kyrogen of the Old Croak Asylum. You guys had come to an agreement to turn over the Primordial's Eye to him in exchange for information and location, whereabouts, and who you should be looking for in an effort to find this lureweed plant that you guys have been looking for to cure the ailments of Knock and Wisp. The deal went off without a hitch. You guys turned over the Primordial's Eye, but not before giving warning to the Kyrogen about the power it possesses and what it could potentially do. You guys also let them take the tarp, which seemed to subdue some of the magical auras about it and things like that, in exchange for another item, which is a music box that was given to you by Roderick that has some magical capabilities. Nock, you prepared Vodder's body onto a bed so you could kind of carry him as you guys go about your journey, and asked Roderick about a temple or some shrine to Velun, the deity that Vodder did worship, in which he gave you the directions to go northeast around the asylum, and that there is a temple or chapel of some sort in that area. During the night, you had a little bit of a problem with Aiden, your once drow companion, follower of Ket, who has turned into a hellhound and seems incapable of reverting back to his humanoid state. You guys found him in an alleyway, seemingly in duress. It looked like he was hungry. It looks like he had snatched one of the crows that fly around Vedranis. And soon he turned his sights onto you guys. You tried to speak to him and try to make sense. Wisp, you tried to kind of get through to him. Knock as well, and it seems like you guys were unfortunately able to do so, and he relinquished a fire breath on the pair of you, into which Wisp, you voluntarily failed the save, so you took the full brunt of the damage and held on to him during this, before Knock went into a rage and dispatched him for a time before Marcoris came in and stabilized him, and you guys brought him back. And it seems like Aiden was very distressed and has been struggling with whatever it is he's going through at this present moment, and dealing with his new state of being. And you guys talked about potentially finding a cure or something for him, in which, after that, he did not want to leave Wisp's side. And that's about where we ended, as you guys decided to take a rest for the evening and come about the next morning. So if you guys have not completed a long rest, you guys can. Your night goes unhindered and everything like that, and you guys wake up the next morning to just a cold breeze sweeping through the cracks of the old home that you're in. You can see frost covering the window panes of this house, and it is cold. It's not snowing outside, those of you who wake up and look out, but it is definitely colder. It is getting into the colder months of the year.
Nock has awoken, and for maybe those who might hear, I'm going to say that he woke up maybe first, and he's over in the room. You can hear the moving of things, breaking of things, fastening of things, as he's going ahead and putting a blanket over Vodder's body, and then tying some cloth and whatnot over the blanket to keep it nice and connected. and he's getting ready to do his best to strap this broken bed frame to his back, which then he's going to be carrying Varda's body.
As Wisp wakes up, she moves from her hair being kind of down and raggedy. She starts to put on her headdress again and bundles up. And while I'm like getting everything prepared, is Aiden still sleeping or is he awake?
With everybody kind of milling about, he's also woken up.
Okay. While I'm getting ready, I'm gonna take out I'm gonna eat a ration for myself, and then I'm gonna take out an extra ration and offer it to Aiden.
Okay. Are you like offering him any like specific like type of food or anything like that?
Not really. No, just whatever I have in my ration pack. But I'm just I'm just extending this like kind hand to him to let him know that I'm not upset for what happened.
Okay. Yeah, he eats a bit of like maybe dried fruit or some.
I'll share a ration pack
or-
with him.
okay.
Yeah, I'll just share one of my rations with him and just like give him some fruit and like some of the maybe the dry tack and stuff like that.
And as you feed him, he kind of he chomps on it, nibbles on it, but after a minute he starts kind of retching again, like as he did the other night, and it seemed like. And he seems a little down when he does that because he eats it and then he is kind of retching it back out. Go ahead and make either a nature check or a medicine check, whatever you think is most appropriate for you.
I would do. I'm gonna do nature. It doesn't change my modifiers or anything, but just for like the actual check, she has no really medical training. I got a 10.
A 10. Okay. You're unsure of maybe why this is happening. You're not sure if he just doesn't like the ration or what.
Okay.
But
I'll make a mental note of it. Like while he's kind of like having this reaction, I'm just mentally clocking it, and then I continue to just fasten up my bags and get ready.
Makoris is still laying on his bedroll and is just sort of like playing with the bead that's woven into his hair, that green bead. And he says, what do hellhounds eat?
I
mean, it sounds like he's become more hellhound than drow.
I don't know.
Maybe they eat like real hot chili peppers or something.
I look towards the fire that we had kind of burning, and I'll point at it, and I'll look at Aiden and just be like, do you need something like that?
I don't know if he knows. I mean, I'll let him answer, but...
And yeah, as you kind of look, he kind of like just kind of looks confused. He kind of starts looking around, and then he starts sniffing towards where you guys created the like hole in the ground where you put the warp stone.
I'll go
we
over
got those
and
two
open it.
zombies in there, right? Maybe he wants some of that. And,
I mean, I don't think they're gonna be used any other way. Maybe we should just let him have them.
No, they're just, I mean, they're perfectly good. I mean, as good as zombies can get, right? They're of no more use to us.
Sure.
And he gets up and he's like, "Hey Jerry, will you wrap up my stuff and just roll up my stuff, put it in the bag?" And comes over and helps Wisp sort of lower down into the hole and retrieve the zombie children.
Okay.
From within.
So you bring them up, and Aiden kind of looks at it and kind of. You can see there's like definitely some like conflict there because he kind of looks at it and like he seems kind of grossed out, but he slowly and kind of begrudgingly takes a bite. But and it's still like he kind of like you see him like shake his head and whatnot, but he does actually keep it down.
And Marcora sort of like looks over at him and like sort of grabs him by the jowls like I do with my dog, right? To like look him in the face. Like, listen, you are much less good to us as a hellhound than you are as a cleric. So don't get used to this, all right? We're going to fix you. Or, I don't know. Leave you. I don't know. He drops his face. And, like,
As soon as you say that, she like looks towards Marcoris and then looks back at Aiden and takes him by the scruff like she did the night before and just like gets down close and low and almost whispers in his ear, "We will not leave you, but we will change you. We'll figure it out." And she'll let him go and give him the space with the zombies.
Okay. And like as you're leaving, he kind of like nudges your cheek a little bit, and then kind of goes back to eating.
Oh yeah, I nod at him and give him his space, crawl back out of the hole. While we're all kind of like waiting, can I go outside around where we had that whole little debacle in the alley and see if the bird is still there? The body of the raven?
Oh, okay. Yeah, you make your
crow?
way back. Yeah, you make your way back following, the footsteps that you guys had created the night before. And you do see the carcass of the crow. It's pretty, like, it looks like he had gone through most of it, and it's just kind of like, just kind of a matted mess of blood and feathers at this point.
Can I get close to it and then kind of just like, I want to squat next to it and look up and look around? Do I see any other crows around? Do I see anything watching me?
Make a perception check.
Okay. It's an 11.
You're not seeing anything at the moment. It seems pretty clear.
Okay. I'll just kind of leave it be since it's mostly eaten anyways, and I'll go back inside. I'll look towards Knock. Are you prepared? Do you need any help with carrying him?
Knock he has come out of by the time you come back inside the house, he's out of the room and he's just kind of dusting off the dust from like the cloth and whatnot from his hands, and he looks at you with a look of confirmation.
Yes, I'm going to need help getting him the hell out of the damn room. We didn't realize a bugbear was so wide.
When he says that, I would like to go to the door frame, and I'm gonna try to kick the door frame in to like widen it.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an athletics check.
Roundhouse kick that door frame.
Yeah, so basically I guess I just want to like stand inside the doorway, and I think I want to like try to like elbow it or knee it to try and crack the door frame so that we can maybe just like move it over since the house is falling apart anyways. It's a 19. Oh, muted.
Yeah, so you're able to kick it, and I mean, you're able to like get it a little bit. I would say that you still are able to. It's tough, but you're able to. If you
I just kind of want to loosen the foundation so that if he walks through it, it'll like either crumble or like give into the space so that it's not like rigid and hard. I just kind of want to have them be able to walk through it without a struggle or without like forcing his body through and something bad happening.
Right.
Thought his arm falls off.
Yeah, I don't want anything like that. We're Death Stranding his body, so it's just like as compact as possible.
That's right. So when we get outside, Knock can be backpacky boy.
So yeah, Knock then as she kicks Knock looks at you as you're looking at the door, and then you beat the damn out of it and whatnot. He has this look of confusion, but also of just approval. Just
all right, good.
he walks in and he grabs. If you look where he has it, imagine a bed frame. If you took off all the legs, all the bed, like the legs that hold the bed frame up, they're gone. They're stripped. And Vaughter is just laying on top of it, and there is like leather straps and other different cloth that are around where the legs would be. So he gets to one side and looks to you, Wisp, and says,
just mind him. He's not going to be late.
And
I'll assist.
Offers on the table, y'all. I mean, he can walk himself there.
Wisp just kind of like I'll look over my shoulder towards Marcoris and just kind of like
Listen, I
cock a
know
glance at him.
I know this was a friend of yours. I know that when he was alive, he must have been a great guy or whatever. But I mean, it just seems like you're making this harder than it needs to be. I can get him to stand up, walk himself to that church, and lay down in whatever kind of grave you want for him.
I'm imagining just like, since the knock is in the room and Wisp hears this, like Wisp is like walking into the room and then she's out of his sight. Then he says it and her head just pops out like
Yeah, like I'm just
Really?
like, excuse me.
Yeah. So you hear like you hear a grumble and then a growl from Knock on the inside. He says,
I don't need you to transport the man. Never did.
All right.
and Knock then lifts with a little bit more gusto to his angle burst, and he picks up Vodder to start shoving him out of the room.
Okay.
And we move him outside.
Yeah.
Yes, we move him outside and lay him outside while we get the rest of our provisions and things together. Knock, as he lays him down. It is snowing outside still, right?
It's not snowing at the moment.
Okay.
It's kind of like it's just a frozen frost. There's still like snow remaining from where it snowed last night, but it's not currently.
Gotcha. All right. Knock puts him down, puts Vodder's body down very softly on the outside of the home. And as he walks past Wisp, he then puts his hand on her shoulder and just kind of like, it's like a pat, but it's a pat that stays there for a bit as he kind of walks past her and hands roll off of her shoulder, and he walks back inside.
Yeah. I'm gonna stay outside because I'm already packed up, so I'm gonna stay outside and watch Vodder's Bodder, and Vodder's Bodder, and just kind of I'm just gonna take a point at the porch. I'm just gonna kind of look around, make sure that nobody's here, nobody followed us or lingered from last night when we got met up with. Just kind of taking a look around.
Okay. I'll say, yeah, go ahead and make me another perception check.
Oh my god. Oh my god. That is a dirty 20, my friends.
Dirty 20. Yeah, as you're looking about, you feel very confident that you haven't been followed or watched, rather, since like the previous night. So it's pretty empty.
And
quiet.
I'm just leaning back, waiting for everyone to get ready.
All right. Marcoris exits once Jerry has all his stuff. Jerry putting the pack onto Marcoris's back for him. And then Jerry flies out of the house and goes and lands on Wisp's shoulder and sits there. And Marcoris pauses and then says, all right, one day to the northeast, right? Let's take him to church.
I want to sing so bad.
Take me to church. All right. So yeah, when I feel that pressure on my shoulder, I'll kind of look over and I'll actually like move to like pat him on the back for a second, and then just like look into the room to make sure everybody's coming out, and just like I'm okay. She's okay with him sitting there, and she wants him to know that she's okay with him sitting there.
He pointedly does not react, but seems to be okay with this.
Cool. We appear to be clear. I don't think anyone stayed or followed from last night, so.
All right.
Northeast.
Knock
go.
Exits out of the last one out of the house and slams the door behind him. And nods at the order to head northeast, and gets down real low by Vodder. He picks up both the leather straps and stands without like hesitation, just stands straight up and starts walking.
Okay. And you guys begin your trek. Who's leading the party today?
Oh God, I don't think
I mean-
Wisp would know how, but I think Wisp would try. I think she's feeling in a way where she would try to head because she wants to help pick up the burden of taking this extra trek. And since Vadr is on Nox back, I think she would take the mantle of trying to get them to where they're trying to go.
Okay.
So I'll look up at the sky and see if there's any sort of remnants of where the sun is, and trying to figure out where northeast is according to like where I know that we have traveled and all of those things.
Okay. Perfect. So we'll move over to the map, and you can move the token if you like.
Do I get to move the token
Do it,
tonight?
Ray. Do it.
I'm so excited. I gotta zoom out because this map is really big. Okay, so
I gotta zoom out because I'm just so excited.
northeast. I don't want to move this in the wrong direction. Is it this one?
That's the one.
If you think it's northeast, just
That is northeast, north, south,
Wisp is
east,
like,
west. I'm like, never eat shredded wheat.
let us not forget when Nock led us north, and we ended up going northwest.
Yeah, it was really
I don't
fun.
even know what the hell a compass is. So don't give me no damn.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, no. I'm definitely that's locking in my final answer.
Okay, perfect. Is there anything that you guys are doing specifically throughout your journey through the day?
Walking.
Walking.
at a good pace.
I
With a
think
water bottle in my back.
if there's like a small brook or a stream that looks like it can provide safe drinking water, I think Wisp would fill up her water skin. But other than that, I think it's a weird, quiet walk.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a very quiet walk.
Make me a survival check really quick.
Cool.
If Jerry notices this, Jerry would
A 3.
also be looking.
You guys aren't seeing any rivers or streams,
Okay.
unfortunately.
That's totally all right.
You feel a little parched when you know you're not being able to find it. So,
Yeah.
you continue to pass through these homes in the market, making your way around, keeping the asylum to your left as it kind of towers above the rest of the buildings and homes in the market. The day is, like you said, quiet. There's not much foot traffic you're seeing. It seems like every thing that you can see, every person and whatnot, has made their way to the asylum due to the earthquake and everything that happened upon your guys's, stopping Gurgatar from being summoned. As you guys continue, it starts to get dark. You see the occasional crow fly over, but they seem to not pay too much mind. They seem more preoccupied with other things. Everybody make me a perception check.
Ooh, my eyes.
My eyes.
Dueling 9s.
Yucko. It's a 5 from me and a 4 from Jerry.
Odd number city, huh? It's definitely
Okay.
him.
You all get this weird, just tingling feeling that you're being watched. You don't know where, you don't know who, but this feeling just kind of permeates the area as you guys continue, and it starts to get dark. Rapidly so, much earlier than it has in the past, as the weather begins to change and things like that. You haven't come across a church yet, but you do notice as you continue on the path, you see smoke beginning to rise somewhere off, continuing to the north, maybe some 100 feet or so.
Do you see that? And she'll point.
Yes, of course I see this. It looks like smoke.
Jerry says,
Do you know what it could possibly be? I didn't know that there was another settlement between here and where we were supposed to be.
This is probably from fire, silly mortal.
And she'll like look at him. Obviously, but I didn't know there were more settlements. I figured people stayed in towns, not off by themselves. Seems dangerous. And she'll like kind of look at the group when she says this and smirk a little.
Fire is not dangerous. I find fire quite comfortable. Where I come from, many things are on fire.
Nog looks to him and says, many things are on fire. Well, seems like you're very familiar with it then.
And he pinches like the back of the neck of the bird and picks
he
him up
slaps
with
at his hand.
and but he's not letting go. He says,
Go find out where the fire is if it's so familiar.
I only follow the orders of my Lord Marcoris Dag.
I immediately
Also,
look towards
if Miss
Marcoris.
Wisp wanted me to do something, I would do it as a thing.
And I look towards Marcoris, and then he says that, and I'll look towards him, and
Marcoris nods.
And could you please check it out for us?
I will do this for you.
And he like bamps invisible and flies towards the pillar of smoke.
Okay, perfect. So is he? You said he's? Did you say he's turning invisible?
Yeah.
Or no. Okay.
Yeah.
So he begins flying, and it takes a few minutes because, like I said, it's a decent ways away. And he as he continues flying, kind of getting an aerial view, he indeed does see smoke, but it's coming from a chimney of a house somewhere off in the distance.
So he just sort of flies at an angle 45 degrees sort of up until he's high enough to see this.
Okay.
That it's coming from a building. And it's coming from the north, you said? A house to the north?
Yes.
Okay. Due north? Like straight north?
Just about, yeah.
Okay. He's going to turn and come around and sort of bamf back into visibility as he gets closer to the group and hover in front of all of them and say,
There is a homestead with a chimney and the smoke rising from it as if somebody inside has tried to make a fire, a puny, pathetic fire.
Nog looks so unimpressed on his face. He's just like,
So you saw nothing else over there. You just saw fire from a home.
No, I saw smoke, silly man. Smoke comes from a fire. I do not expect you to know such things.
and he's hovering like out of reach of not.
Imagine being mansplained by like a 2 foot tall
Imp.
flying
Yeah.
little imp.
Mhm.
oh my god. Nog looks to Marcoris and says,
You just told him to go ahead and see where it was coming from. We could see the damn smoke. What is inside?
I mean, Jerry wouldn't go in there unless he was invited, I'm guessing. But apparently somebody living there. Jerry, did you see a church? And Jerry says,
I did not think to look for such a place. I will return and look again.
he turns around and he flies straight up. And as soon as he's gone, Marcoris turns to Wisp. He says, he sure likes you.
I don't know why.
I mean, I don't know either. He doesn't act that way around most people. And Jaraxius is going up. He's going to go back and also look for the church.
Okay, so he's sorry, just because I disconnected for a second. He's flying back.
So Jerry came back, told them there's a hilarious exchange between
I got
Jerry
that
and
one.
Nog.
Mm-hmm.
It was great. And then then Marcors asked if he saw a church. Then Jerry turns around and goes back up to look for one. In the same kind of area in the sky.
Okay. Perfect. As he begins flying, go ahead and have him make a perception check. And he's
Gladly.
invisible again?
He is. He goes up and he looks again. Ooh, a natural 20 for Jerry that time, so 21.
So again, he sees, the smoke rising from this home, surrounded by other homes that aren't. There doesn't seem to be any signs of life. As he kind of continues flying, it takes him another minute or so, but he does see, kind of cresting over the other buildings, what looks to be like some sort of like temple or something, a little bit bigger building made of stone, which he would probably think is akin to a church. Something catches his eye. How close would you say he is to the church, or how close would he get?
He would get within a few hundred feet, like close enough to identify it.
Okay.
But he's not going to go in or get too close. So that the rest of the group.
Okay. Before he does that, can you roll a quick stealth check for our dear?
Oh, sure. Oh, sure. Does he get
He
an
does get
advantage for being
advantage.
invisible?
Yeah, he gets it.
Or just a straight roll? Okay. That is a 23.
Goodness gracious. Okay. He's a
Jared's
sneaky
sneaky.
boy.
Jared's sneaky.
Okay. He sees a figure on the rooftop of this church, kind of shrouded in the darkness, as we kind of see the moon is kind of cresting right kind of in the way of the church. So we kind of just see the silhouette of the church, and we just see the silhouette of this figure.
So he turns and returns to the group, and he reappears and says,
I have seen the disgusting building that you would call a church. And on the top of this building is a figure standing. Is this what people normally do in a church?
Just for clarity's sake, they weren't standing. They
Oh,
were
okay. What were they doing?
Crouched.
Okay.
And it seems like they were holding something.
Lies in wait above this church. Obviously, to capture people and make a sacrifice to your disgustingly sacred god, or whatever this place is for.
That's one way to put it.
I don't think Velun takes sacrifices, but did they look menacing? Did they look...
All I know is they lie in wait.
Well, at least we know that they're there then.
Perhaps they are hunting birds.
An odd place to hunt birds.
All of a sudden, you hear something in the distance. You hear what sounds like the menacing squealing of a hog, followed by the unmistakable scream cut short by some humanoid person.
Wisp takes off running.
Towards the squeal?
Jerry is the first to follow after Wisp.
I can try to do the squeal. It might not come off well, but
Yeah, no.
And yes, please do it for the stream.
Please, my
Well, I mean,
immersion.
Hold
Oh,
on.
would you make
I
us
might need to do it like
Yes,
I might need
everybody
to mute.
in chat
I
prepare
might need to mute
yourselves.
really quick. Hold on.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Practice your
Mhm.
pig squeal.
It's gonna look fucking
Yeah,
weird.
please practice your pig
It's gonna
squeal.
look fucking weird. So
I love
Listen, I cannot judge you, brother. I cannot judge you. My face is half the time I make fucking noises.
Yeah. Okay, let me practice real quick. Okay, I'll be right back.
And while Cole's doing that, we just want to say thank you, everybody, for being here. Don't
Thank you
forget
so very
to
much.
follow our Discord and shit. I don't know.
God damn it! Am I gonna actually do this?
Yeah. do
Yeah.
it.
So it sounds something like this. It's like, God damn it! It's like, I can't do it anymore. I can't fucking do it.
You got it.
Hey, we believe in you.
You got it.
I can't.
I'm
do
ready.
It. I can't do it. It sounds like the most horrifying fucking pig squeal you've
Yeah.
ever fucking heard in your entire
Okay,
life.
then accurate.
We've heard it. So Wisp goes running. I
Jerry
will do
follows.
full dash movement. I will do everything to get there. as
Marcore's
fast
at a
as I
light
possibly
jog.
can. I want actually when I get there, I want to find a way to scale the side of the building to get to the roof.
Is it coming from the direction of the church?
Yes.
Yeah. Knock is just confused because he's like,
You never heard a pig die before? What?
and you just start fucking
Yeah.
hauling
I
ass
want to get
behind
there
you.
and I want to jump up and see if I can get to the roof of that building as quick as possible.
So, okay. So you're just beelining towards the church.
Oh yeah.
Okay. As you like are running, you see like an object or something in like on the ground in your way. As you're
I'll
booking
stop then. Yeah, I'll stop. I'll kind of like, it's one of those things where like you run and then you pass something and she like double backs and looks
I would,
at it.
yeah, and if you run past it, I'd say you slip,
Oh, okay.
like as if you slipped on ice.
Yeah. Okay. So then, yeah, while I'm running, I'll slip and fall prone, and then I'll kind of turn around and like, very quickly, like this is like she's panicking at this moment. She'll get to like crawling, and she'll crawl back to see like what it is.
Yeah. So as you slip and you kind of fall and kind of pick yourself back up, like you're almost expecting like the cold feel of the ground and ice. You feel like this warm liquid on your hands now as you've fallen. And as you kind of pick up and look at your hands, they're covered in blood.
And as
like,
soon as
yeah.
Jerry arrives, he sees this and says, "A sacrifice for the god Velun."
She like doesn't even register it. Like, what did I touch? Where is this coming from? Is it from me or is it from the ground around me?
It's coming from the torso of some figure that has seemingly just recently been cut or clawed or splayed in half, and you have ran past their legs and have slipped on the blood and their entrails.
She'll like kind of having that moment, almost like when we realized that those monsters were people. She has this whole like, and she's like looking at Jerry. Go see. And she's just kind of like, she's very dissociated right now, and she's just staring at the body.
Jerry's gonna go invisible and keep going away, like in the same direction, trying to find what did this or get some sight of it.
Okay. And this time, Wisp, you all of a sudden feel your other eyes begin kind of darting on their own in different angles, in different directions, and
She starts taking her cloak.
Yeah.
She starts taking her cloak, and she's binding everything that she knows where it is. She knows exactly what's happening, so she's taking that her overwrap, and she's just making sure it's covering as much as possible.
Okay.
And then she shuts her eyes. She shuts her actual own eyes, and she just sits there, like she's not shaking, but she's like frozen. She just really doesn't know how to take what's going on. So she's just like sitting there for a moment, and if and when that feeling passes of like those eyes twitching, I will open my real eyes and I will wait for everybody else to get there and figure out
Would
what's
we
going
be
on.
there by now?
Yeah, you guys catch up as like Wisp was kind of, freaking out a little bit, And then you guys hear the squealing again coming from within the church or the temple.
Coming from within the temple.
Mm-hmm.
Like knock hits like hard break of of his feet on because he's got a body on him, so he's not like in full sprint, but a good jog. Hits the brakes, looks at Wispa's state of mind and her physical action.
Did I miss something where Father said that his people were actually running a slaughterhouse?
Please, a Waterhouse.
Body, the squeal, the body, they're looking through my eyes, and you just see her like hold her cloak close against her, and she's just like, they're trying to look through my eyes.
Marcourse finally comes like slowing down his jog to like a walk, and as he hears her say this, he's just gonna look around at their surroundings.
Okay.
See if there's a threat nearby.
Make a perception check.
While this is happening too, she just goes, he went off flying. Jerry, there's another.
Oh yeah, I know. A 3.
3. You're kind of like overloaded with everything that's going on at the moment to really, you're looking in every direction, not seeing anything other than hearing this.
DM, I'll do the same if that's cool.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Knock, you hear buzzing.
Like a bee? Like that type of buzz?
Like more than
one bee.
More than one bee?
Multiple bees.
Dare I say a swarm?
Oh shit. Okay.
I've heard the flapping of the many wings of these damn crows. But something comes. Many.
It's like, and he just kind of, you see Naki's like,
wings. Tiny.
They seem to be coming from also within the temple or the church. And you also hear something in your head, which is becoming way too familiar to you at this point.
Way too familiar.
But I don't think you understand what's being said to you.
I don't speak bee.
No, what languages do you speak?
Just giant, and that is it. Giant and common.
Okay. Marcourse, what languages do you speak?
Chapoy speaks Celestial, Common, Draconic, and Infernal.
Okay. Neither of you understand the voice, the singular voice that is in your head, but it repeats a single word over and over and over again.
Y'all hear that?
Do I hear it?
Do I hear it?
You guys all hear it now, I'd say. One after another, you guys hear this voice just repeating.
Do I know what they're saying?
What languages do you speak?
Common, goblin, primordial, and undercommon.
You do not understand this one.
Oh shit. Okay. Does it sound like something we've heard before, although we cannot make what it says? Like, does the dialect sound like something we've heard? Because the only other thing that we've heard that none of us know how to speak is Draconic.
I speak Draconic.
Oh, okay. Then never mind.
I would say, for those of you who speak Infernal and Deep Speech, it sounds in some similar, maybe dialect of that, but it's some strange offshoot that you're not quite sure.
And you just see like Wisp getting physically frustrated, and then she ends up opening her real eyes and still keeping the cloak tied up. She's going to kind of start like wiping the blood on the snow from her hands and get up. She's going to physically get up and start to like, you see her get into like this stance where it's just like very offensive. It's very predatory. It's very like, all right, what are we doing? Where are we going? And she's looking at both.
Yeah, Marcos approaches the body first. He wants to look at this body and see if he can figure out what happened to it, but he's also talking at the same time. So he says,
Okay.
y'all, whatever did this ran into that church. I mean, if that's where you're gonna do this funeral, we should probably head in that direction, clear it out, right? Whatever's left is out here looking at us, so I'd like to get moving.
Knock, on the other hand, is grabbing his head and stomping his feet 3 times. He stomps his feet 3 times very loudly and goes,
I just stop going ahead and if you're gonna say something, say it in my face.
and he's just stomping as loud as he can. Then he opens his eyes and he goes,
Where's the damn church?
And
Do I see anything on this body here while I'm looking? Do I see, like, what happened to it? Anything of note?
It looks like it was cut in half, as you do not see the torso up.
Just
It
the
is
legs.
Just
Okay.
the legs, and like a part of it's like the spine, like sticking up a little bit.
Gross
do you have
on me,
I do
okay.
have a question related to this as well. Does it look like that the bottom half of this body was thrown? Because we can't find the torso, does it look like it was like tossed? Like are there blood droplets like on the snow leading up to it? Is it just a pool
CSI
of blood
Vedranis.
Yeah, I'm literally like I'm trying to figure out if this body was ripped apart and thrown or if it was done here in this
Give
space.
me an investigation check.
Yeah, Detective Wisp on the case.
And Mark, course you can as well, or you can
I
roll
got a
with
16.
advantage.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah, let her. I'll let Wisp have a 16.
No. I would rather you do it with me so that
Okay. I'll roll too.
roleplay wise, because I think once you
Roleplay,
start
yeah.
assessing, she's gonna look down, and then if you're looking at the body, I want
Right.
to do. I'm investigating around while you're looking at the body.
I rolled a 5, which means Marcos looks down at the body and says, "Half of it's missing."
I was gonna say that's perfect. I want to look up and look around to see if I can tell where this body was killed.
Okay, so what you see is you turn back towards the house with the smoke rising from it, and the door is closed, but one of the windows has been broken. You see blood from there, and then you see like drag marks, and then some footprints, and then where the body is, and then you see more blood heading towards the church as if the top was dragged away. And as you're looking at the body, it looks like it was cut or cleaved in half, but very like uncleanly. Roughly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Knock is moving his way towards the church. Actually, he pulls his unleashes his axe and is walking very steadily towards the church while they're investigating.
Marcos takes 2 steps in the same direction, then turns around and pats down the pockets of these legs.
Okay.
Are you looting
To look for any
Are you
valuables.
looting the legs?
You find 5 copper pieces.
You savage.
5 copper pieces richer.
Write that down.
Yeah, I get. So I'll relay that. I'll just be like a broken window. There's a trail. The top half was probably carried that direction. And
Pulled him out of the house. Okay.
It seems like he was tossed out the window, maybe to kill him, then split and drug. Something like that. Whatever it is.
Let's hightail it to the church. Hey, I got 5 copper pieces. He holds them up and puts them in his pocket.
She gives you a look and then just starts like walking off behind where Knock is and like also in the same direction. Luke Goblin.
Okay.
Apparently.
Knock, as you
Tonight.
begin approaching this this church, the first thing you notice is there is no door. There is an archway, but there is just a cloth or some sort of like curtain, relatively thick, that is kind of swaying a little bit. And then you can see a blood trail leading inside.
right. Knock walks up to where the base of the stairs would be, or if there is stairs that lead up to this doorway arch, and he stops, observes the blood.
Jerry appears right next to him. Thin hair.
He looks over at Jerry and says, "Bird. Is there any windows?"
Rock.
There are a few windows, yes.
Says to the bird,
Take a look at the window. Tell me what you see.
Yes, I will do this. Be careful. That thing is still on the roof. Whatever that figure was.
Knock looks straight up to see if he can make eye contact or see if something is peeking over or anything to which he could see at the distance of where he's at the temple.
Yeah.
Jerry disappears, goes around to the windows.
Okay. You do not see anything on the roof as you approach.
Gotcha. All right, and I am waiting for it. Literally, as he's looking at the imp as he flies away, he is looking for any body movement of like shock, drop, shut him down, put him
Roll.
So I felt really hood for a second. I apologize.
Yeah.
So like, hell yeah. So I went ahead. I just wanted to see, like, I'm looking for physical movement of worry, shock, awe from the bird.
Okay. So Jerry Draxius, as he makes his way to one of the windows, I kind of get the little scene from the 101 Dalmatians cartoon where the cat's at hell has to like wipe a window and look in, and we just see his little face, and he's peeking in.
But it's an imp.
But it's an imp. It's a little devilish imp. He has dark vision. He sees. Kind of describe the room. He does see a chapel, but it is relatively devoid of anything. There are no pews or chairs. There are lots of tapestries hanging from pillars on each side, and then there is a what looks to be some sort of altar or something like that in the center that is has a ring, like a metal ring around it, and there is a veil kind of surrounding the entirety of it. And that is where Draxi sees the silhouette of the same creature that he saw on the roof. It is hunched. And he also hears buzzing. He can see flies just surrounding this thing. It's got a kind of a face like an elongated face of some cow or some fiend with long ears, and it's got goat horns that are sticking out, and it's sitting there. You can see some hair and fur kind of cascading down its chest, and it's like a loincloth. That's the only thing, and then that it's kind of covering its bits, and then it has this very long barbed tail that's kind of just swinging in kind of around this creature. In one hand, it's holding the head of a human and is taking bites out of it. In the other, yeah, pretty much. In the other, it is holding where most of these flies are congregated. You see, it is holding a pike of some sort. And impaled on this pike is the head of some hog or swine. It's got multiple eyes, and you can see blood is still dripping down from the pike. I need Jiraxius to make another stealth check for me.
Oh, gladly. And while he does that, he's invisible. Would this be a straight roll or with advantage?
It would be with advantage.
And while he does that, a dirty 20 for Jerry.
Okay.
Filthy, nasty 20. As a creature of like the plane of hell, Does Jerry recognize this thing or know what it is?
He can roll a nature check.
Ooh, nature. Okay. I'm gonna roll this one. No, you know what? Jerry's doing well on roll 20, so I'll roll it on roll 20. Nature. That would be just intelligence. 3.
This is not a creature of the infernal plane that at least Draxius has ever seen.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
And like I said, as this thing is holding this pike, you can see the eyes of this pig are moving every which way. Mm-hmm.
Jerry,
just keeping an eye out, seemingly.
Tilts his little imp head to the side just for a second, and then flies back from the window and returns to knock. And I'm guessing the rest of the group is there by now.
Yeah, I mean, if Wisp would make her way up, Iden's kind of keeping close to Wisp.
Oh,
so.
yeah.
And he describes everything he's seen. That's what I'll say, in a very funny Jerry way, that is like mean but also endearing. So, yeah.
What do we do with that?
Well, what do we do with any of the things that are dripping in blood or look like goddamn scraggly, terrible things? If they're not deep down underneath the earth, they somehow end up on the surface of Vedranis. We exterminate.
Jerry says,
Normally, I would approve of the profaning of a temple such as this. But that thing is gross as fuck.
We can all try to attack it in secret at first, and maybe catch it by surprise.
Knock looks. He kind of just like with his axe in his hand. He goes,
Don't do surprises, but you do. The bird
I can.
nest, of course. Fine. Can you even?
he in whisper. He's like, he gets down really close, kind of like grabs like everybody, brings you into a huddle.
If we can get to the other overlay, I've just shown the players what this thing looks like.
Oh my god, this is so cool! It's a creature of my dreams. Very cool.
Oh boy. Yeah. Knock says,
On a forward approach, either put yourself in a position and I'll get its attention. But I got fodder on my back. There's not much I can do.
Let me get its attention. I think I can. And she,
do we want it inside or outside?
we probably want to lure it out, correct?
Okay.
What if I made something appear in the window, made it want to come outside?
Like a juicy human?
Or a really fat bird, something that can perch on the windowsill. And while I'm saying this, you see her moving her hands like this, and smoke starts to emanate between them. And through the smoke, a apparition of a really fat owl, like a really just a fluffy as fuck owl that looks super delicious. And I'm going to use minor illusion to create this small bird. And then we're still outside, like a little ways away, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And
Nog is close to the door, at the not door.
Okay.
At this point.
I mean, this,
Undoor.
we can try this first. It doesn't cost me much, and if it doesn't work, then we can try something else.
Yeah, go for it.
And I will send the bird out, and you see as it gets sent out from my hands that it kind of trails with a little bit of smoky detail, and it shimmers for a small second in the moonlight, and then as it sits down on the windowsill, it starts to solidify a little bit more and look a little bit more real. But it's gonna sit on the windowsill, and I want it to like hoo inside the room, like really loud.
Okay, yeah. So you hear it. You hear the the little hoot of the owl. Almost immediately in response, you hear the like the squealing. I kind of did it there. There you go. You hear the squealing of that pig, and all of a sudden, like you hear like like feet, like, and all of a sudden the thing, like, all of a sudden you just see a fist break out of the window and try to grab the owl, and like reaches and pulls and grabs nothing. And
I'm gonna see.
in.
I was gonna say, as soon as he pulls back in, I'm gonna see if I can move the illusion. So like almost like tethered strings, you see her go like this, and she pulls the owl back, and it's now like flapping in front of the window.
Okay. Yeah, all this time you keep hearing this squealing of this hog head, and it's just like it is blood curdling. And then all of a sudden you see this thing kind of like perch into the window.
Can I be holding an action to, like, as soon as
I was
the majority of this thing is
Yes,
outside, I want to blast
yes,
it?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm at the doorway with my back at the main doorway with my axe just completely cocked back, waiting for it. Hopefully, this even comes out of this way. If it does,
Yeah, and I want to forfeit my surprise to try it. I'm gonna try and get it outside so that they have the surprise attack on them.
Okay,
So
perfect.
I'm moving the owl. It's just kind of hovering there, and I kind of want it to just like with its head just start cocking it back and forth, almost like taunting it. I want to taunt this thing to see if I can get it outside.
And for minor illusion, it needs to make a check to see if it knows it's real, or
Yes, it does. What is that? Spells, minor illusion. It says if a creature uses an action to examine the sound or image, the creature can determine it is an illusion with a successful intelligence check against my DC, which is I think I'm on my spell page, but I don't see it. I think it's 16. Because that's what my other one is.
okay.
Against your
It's whatever your spell
DC,
save is,
what?
yeah.
Yeah, it's not. I'm on my spell page, but it's not telling me what my spell save DC is. And it doesn't say on the actual spell, but I have another a con save of 16 for another spell. So I don't know if that's the same.
Let me take a look.
Because I technically don't have a spell save
You don't have
DC
a
because
spell.
I'm not a.
Yeah, you should still have
caster.
something though, right? Let me.
Well, how
take
do
a
you? Yeah, I
look.
was gonna say, how do you figure out your spell save DC? Because it's something plus.
It's 10 plus your proficiency plus the
What skill is it?
yeah, like
Yeah.
Because that's 12, so 10 plus my proficiency. Oh, is 3, so that's 13. Plus whatever skill that it's taking from. I think it might be 16.
Let's see.
This is probably something we should know anyway.
We're learning.
Oh, okay. Spell saving DC for the spell equals 8 plus your wisdom plus proficiency for a monk. So
Okay.
it'll be 8 plus 3 is 11 plus my wisdom modifier, which is plus 1, so 14.
14. Okay. So as it
Yes.
reaches out to grab it, it goes through it.
Okay.
So what we see, like, you don't see the thing, like, because we're kind of looking at the front of the building. And it's like
Yeah.
beside, you just see this hand reach out and like it just brings its hand slowly back. You just see this gnarly little hand, and then it pokes its head out and it starts turning. You guys have prepared actions.
I know.
Yeah.
They can go. I've already done my thing.
Would you like us in initiative order, or can I just let this thing rip?
If you guys have prepared actions, if you want to try to shoot for the head, that's all you can see at the moment. I'll let you use those actions.
Okay.
If you're within range, you can do it for a free action.
How close are we?
I would say 40 feet away.
Okay. Marcoris, as soon as he sees this head reach out, he says, "Oh, he seems reluctant," and he says, "This is gross," and he is going to make like a motion with his hands and like reach out and try to reach into the mind of this thing.
Okay.
And I'm going to need it to make a wisdom save.
Oh.
What are you, bro? What are you?
Wisdom.
I just
save.
imagine like almost kind of like that scene in Alien where the alien head comes out and Nock is just sitting there.
Goat
Like-
demon thing.
Yeah, and it's just like, and then Nock's just sitting there with with his fucking axe, dude. Like, oh, that's so spooky.
It rolls a 11.
Fails.
Boom.
So it takes 3d8 psychic damage. It's like mind spike it.
Okay.
Blip.
And I will roll that on roll 20. That's 19 points of damage.
18. Wow. Okay.
And
Damn.
since it fails, I always know its location until the spell ends. It's a
Okay.
concentration spell. Keep me honest there, I think. But you can't hide from me. And basically, I just sort of mind spike it. Mind
Okay.
spike.
At that point, it turns, and you can see, like, as it turns and looks at you, you cast the spell and mind spike it, and then you kind of see its eyes close, and then in your head you hear the same thing being essentially screamed at you telepathically. I need everybody to roll initiative.
Let's get in it. My body's
I'm
ready.
so in this. I'm so in this.
Let's go, baby.
Hey, matching initiative. What's up, Nock? Let's go.
Damn, I'm about to smack this thing up.
What's your dexterity?
My
skill?
dexterity?
Not- yeah.
13 is my dexterity skill, plus 1 is the mod.
I got a 19, so I'll go first.
I do not have a map for the outside portion of this fight, so just so you guys, we're doing a little bit of theater of the mind
That's
here.
really
We're
fine.
taking this
Okay.
motherfucker to church, all right? Let's get it. But I didn't
It's
take
already
water.
there, but that's a 13. A 13 from Mark Horace, and a 20 from Direxius, Devourer of Hope.
Devourer of Hope, indeed. And then we got 17 on Wisp, right?
Yeah.
And then what was Knock?
17.
17
Nock was
as
also a
well.
17, but actually I would prefer him to go in front of me in initiative, if that's okay with you.
Sure.
And DM charge attack, since I had that first one still going, is that still cool to go ahead and initiate on when the time comes? Or nah?
Sorry, say that one more time.
I had the attack at the ready for if he were to come out physically. So is it still okay to get? Is that a bonus attack at the beginning if I'm going to go ahead and attack, or no? Just if it's fine if not.
He wasn't within range of you.
Right.
So you'd have to, you wouldn't get that prepared action,
Just want to
unfortunately.
make sure. Right, the bread.
It is Jerry's turn.
Of course. Jerry. Freaking Jerry. Jerry is going to fly toward this thing. You said it's 40 feet away?
Yes.
Okay, Jerry has 40 feet of fly speed. So he's just going to come up and do one of his classic Jerry scorpion tail stabs with his tail.
Okay.
On this boy. And so that is a what's that to hit? That is an 8.
That is a miss, unfortunately. He tries to go in and sting this creature, but as he does, like, all these flies start flying over him, start pestering really bad. Like, all of you could hear this buzzing of, like, this creature is just emanating this, like, gross presence, and he misses the attack.
And then he's out of movement, so he just sort of stays there. Right on top of his goat demon's head.
Okay.
Ray,
If you want to do knock, it would be dexterity breaks. So whoever has the highest dexterity would go first, or you can delay your turn if you want, and I can just switch your guys' order if you want knock to go first.
Yeah. I think in this moment it would be almost kind of like I had the apprehension to go, and then I saw that Nock was already ready to, like, do something. So it's like I kind of back off for a minute and I nod at him for him to go and attack first.
Okay, perfect. Knock, it is your turn, my friend.
You know it. What I'm going to go ahead and do is knock. He just slides Varder off of his back, and Varder just smacks onto the ground behind him, and I'm gonna enter into
Thanks,
into a
Nog.
rage.
Okay.
High five. And he is going to then sprint. This man is he out of the window, or is he still in the window?
He's still in the window.
Do I have to jump to attack him, or is he just?
No, you're
enough where I
tall
come out?
enough.
I'm tall
Yeah,
enough. Okay, just wanna make sure.
it's
All right.
it's high enough that you can attack.
I'm going to then run on the wall side of the wall as I'm running towards him, and then like I see him perch. I'm then just going to then kind of like jump, swing to the left, and try to cleave him with my great axe.
Okay.
Let's go. Let's get it. $16.
16 does hit.
Fantastic. All right, it's me a +2 on top of 6, so 8 damage overall. Swinging into
Okay.
that bad boy. And I'm also, after swinging him, hitting him with the axe, I'm then going to turn around to its other side and then swing at him for my second attack as well.
So you'd have to bonus action, I think, rage. So I don't think you get your second attack if it's a bonus action or rage. I would double check on your thing.
It is a bonus action.
So you wouldn't be able to get your. No, you have 2 attacks though. You have 2 attacks.
Yeah, he has 2 attacks
yeah,
per
so you're
action.
good. Yep, you're good.
Mhm.
You're good.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forget you guys are high level now.
No, we're not plebeians. Yay!
You're level
All right.
6. I gotta forget.
Second smackaroonie. 22, my friend.
That does hit.
Sweet deal. 6 + 2, another 8 damage. 16 overall.
Wow. Okay.
I hope I knock him back into the window. Fuck you.
Yeah. Okay. Absolutely. Yeah. Like you're kind of blocking his view, like the view of him. Like nobody else can really see him at this point. Wisp, it is your turn.
All right, so he's inside now.
He's still in the window. He hasn't been pushed back, but like Nog is so big, he is like.
Yeah, he's like leaning halfway out the window. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'll take out my staff. I take out my staff and I'm going to run up. And as I do, I'm going to just go, knock, move. And I want to take it with both hands and I want to try to like stab him in the throat. Like kind of take it,
Okay.
go up and take it almost kind of like a javelin stab. And I want to do a 2-handed staff attack for my first one.
Okay. It is going to be a little difficult. That doesn't matter because you rolled a 26. You're just fine.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I move right the
26.
fuck out of her way, by the way. That's like, as soon as that second hit X hits, I just fall and just
Yeah.
get it, girl.
Cool. So with 2 hands, that's gonna be 9 points of damage. Or
Wow.
total 2-handed is 10, so it'll be 10 points of damage.
Okay.
With that, and then I will. So I imagine I kind of jump and stab down because he's taller than me, and so then I want to flick it with my one hand and try to uppercut it in the jaw with my unarmed strike.
Okay.
So I kind of flip it so that I have my staff in one hand, and with my left hand, I'm gonna punch him like upwards and kind of uppercut him.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and make your other attack.
That's a 12 to hit.
That misses.
Okay, so I'm kind of lose my footing and try to uppercut him and just like go shy of his jaw, and I'm gonna stay right there, right in front of him. But I will spend 2 key points to do patient defense.
Okay. Perfect. Marcoris, it is your turn.
Sweet. Marcoris doesn't want to go anywhere near this thing. It's gross. So he is going to cast Toll the Dead. So I need to make a Wisdom save.
Another wisdom save.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He rolled a natural 1 for a total of 0 because he has a -1 to his wisdom, so he fails.
Wise. So as if Velun's churches had bells, right?
Which they don't. It's a well-known fact. There are no bells.
Right,
in the
dolorous
High
bells
Church.
sound within the air around it.
Yeah.
It takes. Oh yeah, it is 7 points of necrotic damage.
Okay.
And that's it. So it just takes a big bong. We keep on wailing on this thing's head.
Yeah. Okay. It is the Bullsow's turn. If we had the token, you guys would know that this creature, because I put the name and the title of the creature in it, very Dark Souls-esque. This is Rithton, the Repulsive Victor is his name. Knock, Wisp, and Jerry as you all are sitting there, like in its, in its presence, all these flies start attacking you, biting at you. You just feel this gross, rotting presence around this creature. You all take 12 points of necrotic damage just by being next to this thing.
Oh wow, hot dog.
Damn. All right, so you said 12?
12, yep. And then it is going to...
I mean, Jerry bamps out of existence and fizzles out.
When he does that, does he make a sound? Like, would I visually see him fizzle out into
He was
nothing?
sitting on top of this goat head. He was visible.
Okay, then yeah,
just
then
really goes-
I see him fizzle out, and
Yeah.
you just see this scowl form on her face. She's pissed.
So I'm just going to type this in chat. That is how you spell his name. He is going to make an attack at Knock.
Wing it.
He rolls a 19 to hit.
Yeah, it's a big smack.
You take 5 points of piercing damage, and I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Yes, sir.
Oh, you're just fine. You feel this as you see its tail kind of swing out from above it, and it just like jabs at you, and it hits you in the chest, and you just feel this gross like this nasty feeling, like burning feeling on your chest, and you take the damage, but you're able to kind of stave off any of its major effects. And Rithton is going to try to get back into the chapel. So that would give an attack of opportunity to Knock and Wisp.
I will gladly take that.
Hell to the yes.
So for opportunity attacks, am I allowed to use my weapon, or does it have to be like an off?
No, it can be your weapon.
Okay, then I will try to. So I'm holding it with one hand, so it will be a one-handed attack. I'm just gonna try to swing it around to like smack him in the face.
Okay.
This is 15.
Okay. For you, for 15, that's gonna miss because you have to get around Knock.
No
so
worries.
that's a miss for you, but Knock,
Cool.
you can also roll an attack if you wish.
I'm going to do the same. After he stabs me and he turns around to rear back, it's one of those like,
You turn your back to me in battle?
and swings his great axe at him with a whiff.
And an 8 miss, unfortunately. This thing is very nimble and it jumps. Like you can see him kind of like, it's almost like he turns and does like a Spider-Man jump and like leaps across and clears halfway into the room that you can see onto the veil. And
Cirque
then,
du
like,
Soleil demon.
Yeah, pretty much. And so gets there, and then he also is going to jump up, and he's up onto the metal kind of fixture that is holding the veil on top, and he's kind of perched on top of it, kind of now trying to keep away from you guys. It is Aiden's turn. Aiden kind of sees what's happening and makes a beeline for the chapel. He's got, what's his movement? 50 feet. Holy shit. Okay, he's gonna double move, and he gets right where he kind of can be. Jerry is dead. Well, not dead, but
Off this plane of existence.
off this plane of
Unsummoned.
existence. Unsummoned. Knock, it is your turn once again.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take the shortest route into the church. I'm going to throw myself through the rest of the window. So Knock's gonna grab himself and pull himself through.
Okay.
And be able to get eyes on this big boy and move 40 feet into the room.
Okay.
Probably if there's like we got pews and whatnot or broken down pews, like he jumps in, probably knocks a few pews down, then moves over to like the left and puts himself more towards like, the middle of the.
Okay. So you can get right up to this altar that you see is in the center of this chapel. There are no pews or anything. It's very devoid of any of that. But he is about 20 feet above you. So you are right under him, but you can't reach him at the moment. But you can see all these flies are just like trying to bite you. You can still feel them trying to like crawl onto your face and like get into your eyes. And
Nock is just swinging his hand. Like as soon as he gets in there, he's just swinging his hands around madly. He's like,
I've dealt with some pests before. Come on and get down here.
Okay. Wisp, it is your turn.
All right, so I too will go into the church. I'm going to. I have 40 feet of movement, or 45 feet of movement. Weird. Can I get up to the creature again? Muted.
Muted. Thank you. You can get right up next to Nock.
Okay.
And let's see. You just dropped. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
I'm back.
Okay. You can get right next to Nock, and you still, with 45 movement, you still have 15 feet of movement.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, so I'm gonna stride. I'm gonna kind of like almost what Nock did to you. I'm gonna like kind of flip inside of the church and run right up to it. And now holding the staff with 2 hands, I'm going to take it and crack it. I'm trying to go for like the ribs. I'm trying to crack one of those ribs.
You can't reach him because he's 20 feet in the air.
Oh, he's in the air.
Yeah, so what you see is this altar that you can step up to, and then there's a metal ring that's fastened to the ceiling where this veil is, and he is on top of, like, balancing on top of this rail.
Okay.
It's like maybe yay thick, and he's kind of balancing on it and just
with
kind of.
With that 15 feet of movement, can I try to? Is there a way for me to scale, like the wall or something, to get up to him?
Or climb the veil.
You can try to climb the veil.
I will try to climb the veil.
Okay.
I'll try kind of like I'll wrap it around my arm and kind of like use like a pulling like pulling a rope like you did in gym class. Like I'm gonna try to climb it.
Okay.
Go ahead. She does not give a fuck.
Go ahead and give me an athletics check. It's gonna be difficult because like this is
that's fine.
Thin material that you're trying to climb.
She's gonna try to channel the energy, the smoke energy within her to be as light as a feather. You said athletics or acrobatics?
Athletics.
16.
Big leap.
I would say you are able to climb 3/4 of the way. You can get 15 feet up, so he's 20 feet. So you're technically within range to attack like a one-handed.
Okay.
It would be.
Yeah, I was gonna say she'll take.
Difficult.
That's fine. That is absolutely fine. She'll take that, and she's gonna kind of like hoist up her staff and hold it at the end. And I'm gonna try to like almost like push him off. I want to try to shove him with it.
Okay, just real quick, you don't have your you don't have your shadow teleport yet, right?
No, I do not.
Okay, because I know monks of shadow get that.
I think it's like level 8 or something. Yeah, I think it's like level 8 or 10 or something.
Okay.
It's higher. It's definitely higher, but it's coming. I'm gonna try to stab him off and knock his balance off.
I'm gonna say it is at disadvantage because you're trying to hang on without trying to rip this veil or anything. But yeah, you can go ahead and roll.
With disadvantage, it's a 13.
13's a miss.
Okay, no problem. And then so like as I try to like move this, I realize that like I'm losing balance and he's obviously not within range that I thought. So I'm going to kind of like let the staff drop into my hand again to hold it, and then I'm gonna put it on my back so that I'm gonna hang there. I'm just gonna hang and hold tight.
Okay, perfect. Is that your turn?
Yep, that's my ultimate.
Okay, Marcoris, it is your turn.
Can I reach I can reach the front door, yeah?
With 30 feet of movement, you can
I need a line of sight and within 120 feet of this boy.
Yeah, you can just make it to the veil. I'd say you're just right there because you were about 40 feet away.
I don't want to get that close. I saw how gross that thing is.
Okay. You can't see because of this.
Maybe like 60 feet away from him. Can I get a line of sight on him from there?
You would have to run to the window, not to the door, because there's that veil.
Now Marcoris is looking through the window. Like
now Marcoris is. Yeah, exactly.
So he comes up to the window, and those like just see his 2 little finger guns appear through the window, and I'm gonna fire off 2 Eldritch Blasts at him.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
2 bolts. The first one is a adjusted 20. A D6 20.
Okay.
For 4 points of damage.
Okay.
And the second one is a 13.
The miss, unfortunately.
Okay. And then Marcoris is just like, pulls his hands out and just looks through the window.
Waves. Okay. Awesome. It is Rithton's turn. And at the start of his turn, everybody within 30 feet of him will take... what is that? 9 points of necrotic damage. So that would be Knock, Wisp, and now Aiden. You can see Aiden's like trying to bite at these flies. And Rithton is going to try to make an attack at Wisp. So what you see is he's using his tail for balance, but he has this pike with this hog's head, and he tries to like impale you with it. And as he's like thrusting this pike at you, you can hear the hog just like squealing at you, like coming right at you. That's a 20. He has disadvantage.
Disadvantage because of the cloak.
That's right. That's a 21 to hit.
Still will hit, yes.
Okay, so you take 5 points of piercing damage and 3 points of acid damage. Or actually,
So
you need to make a dexterity saving throw for the acid damage.
We'll do that first. Cool. All right, dexterity. Which is
You're
24.
fine. Yep, so you
So
only
I
take 5 points of
imagine
piercing damage.
If you will allow that, because of the dexterity, I let go and I will fall from the veil.
Okay, sure.
I don't imagine her being able to like swing out of the way without ripping the veil. So I would just let it go. And if I take extra fall damage, that's fine, but she would let it go.
Okay, that's perfectly fine. Because what happens is like you get hit with the spike of this pike, but then what you see is out of the mouth of this hog, you see this like blood, like kind of curdled like acid, and that's what you dodge down.
Yeah, I'm gonna dodge it, just drop. Oh my god, that's terrifying.
For anyone who wants to know the name of this item that he holds, it's called the Lord of the Flies. So there you go.
Yes,
That makes sense.
I'm so glad that you went ahead and did that. Oh my god. I've been thinking about it the entire time. I'm thinking of the piggy, the flies. You're the best.
This creature is quite like the story of this creature is pretty much just that story. Is essentially what it is. I'll tell you about it later.
Cool. Yeah, so she'll drop and I'll kind of like look up at him and look where he impaled me, and just kind of like the fact that thing came out of the pig's mouth, and I look disgusted now. I went from pissed to now truly disgusted.
It's gross. It is Aiden's turn. Let's see if he can. So he could do his fire breath, but I think the only way to do it would be to harm Wisp. So he elects not to do anything. He moves up kind of below him and just starts howling and barking at this creature and does not actually do anything. You can see the fire.
The mailman.
Yeah, so you can see as if it were... Exactly. You can see like bits of smoke like kind of furling out of his mouth as he's barking, because you can see the fire like in his throat that he wants to do this, but since Wisp was there, he elects not to do it. Knock, it is your turn.
So Knock is he's still swinging wildly at these flies that are flying around him, and he looks to Wisp to see Wisp fall from grace, if you would, and there's a spark of rage that comes over him, and he screams a growl, and when he does, the fire that he has imbued inside of him just starts to billow out of his shoulders and out of his all the way up to his neck, if you would. And he just looks and I'm hoping to God that it's burning some of the flies all around him and whatnot. So you got like this like dust of fly shrapnel that is flying around everywhere, and he's going to shoot a firebolt out of his hand at big boy over here.
Yeah.
Where am I?
So absolutely, you start little bits of these flies kind of drop as they're a little charred. Go ahead and roll. Yeah, go ahead and roll your firebolt attack.
You bug zapper.
Funny.
That's a crit.
That's a crit.
A big old crit.
So, for the viewers who don't know, how we do crit damage is the normal die is max, so it's a D10 for Firebolt. And then you roll another D10, so you can roll a 1D10 plus 10 for the damage.
That'd be a 3, and then you said plus 10 and just...
So, 13.
13, bang.
Okay.
Big old 13.
So, have I not moved you guys onto the map? I'm so sorry.
Nope.
Here we go.
We don't need it.
Don't worry.
My mind is exploding with images.
The picture here is all very, very good, so...
Yeah, so we're now on the map, so you guys can see. Let me
Look at that, we are on the map.
change some things real quick. You want to see this? You want to see this?
That little token for that creature is so cool.
Oh my gosh, that's definitely it.
It's like it's so real.
I love it. It's so good. Knock. As you fire your firebolt and hit this thing, your shoulders kind of billow, maybe a little bit uncontrolled. As it hits some of the flies, it also hits the veil. And the veil starts catching fire and starts burning. Wisp, it is your turn. You see this? Oh, go ahead.
If the thing starts catching on fire, I hit this thing with the firebolt. Does it fall at all, or is it still?
No, it's on the metal ring, so it's
Right.
essentially yeah, it's like a giant shower curtain, you know.
Gotcha. I wasn't sure if I hit him with the fireball, if he would have fall after getting hit. I do have a second attack. I'm going to shoot another fireball at it.
I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can do that.
So if you have 2 attacks, you can do a cantrip and a spell, but you can't do 2 cantrips and you can't do 2 spells. You have to do the reverse, and since you're not a spell user, you can still attack it, but it would have to be with a weapon or an unarmed attack.
Gotcha. All right, and then that would be, and I would have to take it off my.
Throw the dog at it.
Yeah, throw the... Go! I mean, honestly, that might sound like a great idea. No, could I throw Chutul's Fang at it?
You could. It would be at disadvantage because it's not a thrown weapon.
It's really not.
Technically a scimitar.
The second time I've thrown this thing.
But you can certainly try.
Yeah, let's give it a shot. I'm gonna go ahead and whip this wonderful thing at him. That'd be a 10.
10's a miss, unfortunately.
All right, so Nock just sits there, shoots the firebolt at him, and he rejoices over the fact of hitting him, and then he just grabs the sword and whips the sword at him too, and he just has this like look of like, and just whips. Immediate disappointment upon his face.
Bummer. Wisp, it is your turn. As you're holding on, you've slid down. You notice that this veil is now on fire and is
burning. Okay.
Pretty quickly reaching up to you.
From my hands again, I will start to do that movement, and from the base of my feet, you start to see the smoke emanate and billow out, and then you see me push it, and as I push it up, just this ring of dark, smoky darkness rises, and I want to cast darkness right at the base of his ring, so that it's all over the top of the roof, because it is, from my understanding, yeah, it's a 60-foot. It's a 15-foot diameter, but it's like a dome. So I want to put the bottom of it right at the base of the ring, like right under it, and then everything above him is going to be cast in darkness.
Okay.
And I will use my key points to do that. And as I'm doing that, I want to back away about maybe 10 feet just to create some distance to see where he lands.
Okay, so you're going to take a step back.
Yeah, I'm going to take a step. I'll just take 1 step back. Okay, yeah. I'll take 2 steps back there so that I'm like off this pedestal, and I'm kind of just like, I have more of an area of view to see if he drops down somewhere, but that will be my turn. It's just casting darkness, and then I step back.
Yeah, and all of a sudden he disappears from you as this magical smoky darkness kind of encapsulates the top portion.
And as I'm moving back, I just kind of want to look over to Nock, since he's the one closest to me right now, and just whisper, "Be prepared." And then I'll back up.
Okay. Mark Horace.
So I can still see him, right? Through magical darkness.
Through magical darkness, if you can see through magical darkness,
no, I can't.
You can, but unfortunately, he disappears from view.
Okay.
Get him off the ring somehow.
Yeah, no, that's good. Marcourse is going to, and we haven't done this. I'm going to prepare an action. So I'm going to save it, and as soon as he exits the darkness, when he comes into view, I'm going to toll the dead on him again.
Okay. Perfect. It is his turn. Wisp, Knock, and I'll take another 9 points of necrotic damage. And there's this moment where the veil's on fire, and you see it start to, you see the veil start to swing, and you can hear kind of clattering as it seems like Rithton is moving a little bit. And then all of a sudden, what we see is we hear it first. We hear the squealing of the pig, and then the figure of Rithton and his Lord of the Flies come flying out towards Wisp with his pike kind of over his head and comes swinging down.
He needs to make a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom saving throw, which he fails.
Still at disadvantage.
Ooh, okay.
He rolled a 3 on the regular, so
He takes 16 points of necrotic damage on Toll the Dead. That is max. No, it's not. It would be max damage, but he's already missing points. But it's still good.
It's
really good.
Yeah,
Kabong.
And he essentially, we see the veil kind of swing back as he uses the force, as much force as he can to swing at Wisp. It is going to be a disadvantage because he can't see you. As he's exiting, he's just kind of making a blind jump at you. So it will be a disadvantage, which he scored.
Also because of the cloak, so he's at disadvantage anytime he tries to attack me.
Right. Which
I'm down with it. Let's go.
if he didn't have disadvantage, it would have been a natural 20. But he rolls a 9, and he misses. And all of a sudden, you see him fly right in front of you, and he is glaring. You see this gross green.
How tall is this creature?
So he's a medium creature, but he's about 7.5 feet tall.
Okay, so he's definitely taller than Wisp.
He's big and lanky.
Okay.
Immediately, Aiden sees this and turns, and will come up behind, and is going to make a battle attack, which he has pack tactics, so he has advantage on the roll. Rolls a 19.
Heyo.
And does 9 points of piercing damage and 8 points of fire damage for a total of 17 points of damage to this guy. You can just see Aiden all of a sudden grabs the tail and is starting to yank at it, and you can hear him growling, and you can see fire kind of.
Good boy.
Yeah.
Good boy.
Knock, it is your turn.
I see this lunge, see that big old bite. Knock is going to go ahead and move up to him. Actually, I'm gonna move up to him, and I'm gonna go ahead and attack him. Attack him with my great axe. Knock rears back. Flames are still burrowing off of his body. With his big eyes, he goes and swings right at his right at the torso of this being.
Okay, go ahead and roll your attack.
17.
That hits.
7 plus 2, it's 9.
Okay.
And then I'm going to turn the axe back around and swing at him again for my second attack.
Okay.
Backhand! Show him your pimp hand strong there, Knock. Yeet!
That
Okay,
also
6 plus
hits.
2. 8.
How do you want to do this?
Alright, so Knock, as he turns and he runs and he comes at him the first time, he swings and he hits this thing right across the chest, enough to as maybe he turns to look at Knock, I hit him and he does a spin around. As soon as he makes that full 360 turn to make contact with Knock's eyes, Knock is already in space, and he just wants to fucking just take his fucking head off, just right off his goddamn body.
Okay.
And hopefully knock the damn pig head fucking off the damn stab at top of that spell. But you can decide that.
I would say you might be able to cleave it a little bit. But what you do is we see kind of the slow motion of Knock, just this look on his face, his muscles fucking billowing, and all you just clean and like we just see kind of like Zack Snyder 300-esque, like a slow motion of the head, like kind of in the air, blood dripping and rolling, and it lands with like a gross splatter on the ground. You guys are able to stop and take a breath as the kind of the presence of this creature, this rotting presence, dissipates. The flies kind of all of a sudden start scattering, leaving this chapel or whatever it is quiet. And with that, we're going to take a quick break. We're a little bit late. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Thank you so much for the follows and the new viewers. We had a couple of new people in here. Thank you guys so much. And Ink, thank you much. Thank you so much for the bits. We appreciate you. We'll be back in 7 to 10 minutes. Grab a drink, grab a snack, all that stuff, and we will see what happens next in just a few minutes. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you soon. Welcome back, everybody. They broke me. They did it.
Well, whose cat was that?
Yeah, who did that?
That was his.
That was our lovely producer's
Was it
cat. No, it wasn't. It
Oh
was,
no!
it was Kate's cat.
No.
Welcome
Don't
back,
say oops. It's great.
everybody. We hope you got you're settled and ready for the next hour or so. We're a little bit over, but the next half of our wonderful session. So my cat's now in the background. You guys are now able to kind of hang out, kind of recoup from fighting this creature. And what we see is it is now decapitated. This rotting presence is gone, but the pike in that swine, that hog, its eyes are still moving. There is blood still dripping down the pike from whatever neck wound is there, and it's just sitting there. Its eyes are kind of just like darting everywhere.
As its eyes are darting everywhere, how do my eyes feel?
So what you do is you feel that familiar, like your eyes start to kind of move with the eyes that the pig is moving in the same kind of the same
I'm gonna
way.
walk over to it and look at everyone else. Do we have a purpose for this?
Nock has bent down, grabbed the head of the beast and the tail of the beast, and is walking towards the entrance of the chapel and says, "Nope." Dragging the
Well,
corpse.
I mean, I don't know what it does. I might be able to use it, but I kind of don't want to. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of disgusting.
Are
But
you able to figure out what it does before we do something with it?
well, sure. I mean, I was figuring y'all gonna do a whatever. I'm sure your friend Vodder's Bodder, and I was just gonna go off and resummon Jerry someplace, but I can look it over.
If you'd like to. When you're
Yeah.
done with it, I'd like to dispose of it myself.
Well, sure, if you don't want it. I mean, maybe we can give it to this, what's her face? The swamp lady. Lady
Offering
Lure.
it as some sort of token.
Maybe.
I think we should know what it does first and then make a decision.
I agree. So I will
I like pick it up by the end of it and kind of like almost kind of like you would hold a really heavy hammer because
Yeah, like a
like the
sledgehammer.
heavy part of the
Yeah.
hammer's down. I'm gonna turn it kind of upside down and hand him the butt end of the stick and just like drag it across the floor.
And Marcoris takes it with like just pinch like that. He's like, okay. Like holds it like really far away from it.
And
Okay.
as that's going on as well, I'm gonna look at the veil. Is it completely burnt down now?
At this point, yeah, there are just like the remaining kind of cinders of the veil. kind
I'm
of at
going
the
to
very
take
top.
off my wrapping, which is just a big piece of fabric, and it's black. And I'm going to crawl up to where the ring was, and I'm going to fasten it to the ring to create a makeshift veil.
Okay, how big is that?
It's a wrapping. I probably like unfurled. It's probably a semi-thin piece of fabric, maybe about the size of a scarf, but it's maybe about like 6-7 feet long because it wraps around her and her head and her
Right.
dress. So it's probably about 7 feet long.
Okay. It doesn't quite reach the ground, obviously.
It's okay.
It gets a little under halfway, but it seems to be better than nothing for sure.
Cool. And I'll jump down and kind of look over to Nock and see what he's doing at the moment.
Nock is during your time of messing with the staff, he is have grabbed the body, has taken the tail out of Aiden's mouth, patted the dog.
You're a good dog. You did well there, fire beast.
And he takes the carcass and he's dragging it very loudly, banging the corpse off of whatever the hell is on the ground, or just the ground itself. And as soon as Nock gets to the doorway with all his might, he's just he looks down at the creature's body and just from the tail just yeets the thing as far as he can away from the chapel. Just even if it hits a building, I don't care what it hits, as long as it's gone. Yeah.
Okay,
Like,
yeah.
like dragon, yeah, just
Okay.
hits the thing. So, yes.
Okay. Yeah. So you tell Aiden, good boy, and he kind of wags his tail and he kind of goes off on his own and starts sniffing around. But you're too preoccupied to see what he's doing as you're dragging this body and just throw it out of the chapel.
Yeah, so I throw it out of the chapel. I do go ahead and I like I said, grab his head as well when I had grabbed his body, and I'm just gonna grab the head and observe it. Is there any magical traits, physical traits from said head? I know it has 2 horns on it. Is there anything that I can discern from looking at this goat's head that might be of appropriation of ability or sorts of or whatever?
Go ahead and make a nature check.
Nature checker. It's a 10.
10. It looks like just the head of some weird creature. It doesn't seem to have any magical properties or abilities or anything like that.
Okay. I'm then going to then hold the head in one hand and cast the fireball in the other and just scorch off all the flesh. Just burn off as much as I possibly can of the flesh so it's not
Okay.
rotting upon my person. So smolder and then after that take one of the leather straps and Nock just got himself back another goddamn trophy. So 7 on the belt, goddammit.
Another
Yeah.
goddamn trophy.
So I put that trophy on there and like as I'm fastening it, standing on the outside of the chapel. Is it snowing outside now, or is it still just the night? Now
It's
night
still night is set. The sun or the moon is rising quite high in the sky.
Okay.
But yeah, you now have a like Justin said, a badass bull's owl skull, which is like probably one of the coolest skulls you can have on your fucking belt. Like that's badass as fuck.
Put it on the front bumper of your RV. dude.
It's my crotch plate. Pow! I do that. It has to be where it is. So Nock actually puts it right in the front. But he is going to, as soon as he does get it situated with the leather straps around his his belt, he immediately, as soon as it's strapped, he looks over to the left where Vada's body is lying next to the what would be the stairwell up, if you would, where he had dropped it before, and he knocks down the stairwell and starts fastening Vada back onto his back.
Okay. Yeah, as you're kind of like working on the bull's owl skull for a second, Halifax speaks out the little orb. He's like, I haven't seen one of those for quite some time. Bullseye, do you know where they come from, giant barbarian? They come from the abyss. They're a fiend, actually. They speak abyssal. I was going to tell you what he was saying, but I didn't think it mattered at the point.
What do you mean? Any information would have been fine, Orb. That's why you're here.
I mean, my apologies.
Know of things.
I mean, next time I'll tell you such. He was saying food, if you care to know. He seemed very hell-bent on eating you, I think was the whole point. I feel bad for that sorry sap that we saw drug out there, or whatever, or at least half of him.
He smacks his head when we were his last meal.
Too right.
Down at the orb and like for like a confirmation of laughter.
It seems my orb state has left me incapable of laughing for some reason. But I share your comedy, Barbarian. I do, truly.
Knock like abruptly stops his laughter. Goes back to the water and whatnot. Lets him just hang there on his side. Like, but drops him, like, haphazardly.
Yeah, while this is going on as well, and he's taking care of this, I've been clearing the debris and wiping away some of like the blood and the excess from like the creature that he brought in and like all this. So she's trying to just clear a space for this like little. Is it a pedestal? Is it like what? Is it a dais? Or what?
Yeah,
what is
it's
kind of in the middle of the room?
It's a stone, like a flat stone altar,
Okay.
and in the center of the altar, you see the engraved markings of Velun, which is the archway, right?
Yeah.
It is the
With,
The archway.
with the veil hanging from
With the veil
over it,
hanging.
like a yeah.
She's gonna kind of clear everything away, and then she's gonna stand and just kind of wait for Nock to come back inside. But as she does, she's like thumbing over like the engraving in the stone, and like just like looking at the door, which has the tapestry in front of it, and she looks up to see the veil like right above this stone table. And for like the first time in her life, she feels sorrow. She feels something sitting on her chest, and she doesn't know what that is. So like if Nock walks in, he'll see her face is like pained and confused, because she doesn't understand what she's feeling. She's never felt emotions like this. She's just kind of lightly touching over the engraving on the stone. She'll look over to Nock. She'll nod.
Nox, as he enters the building, he has Vada on it over his shoulders. His grip upon the leather straps or fabric to which he had tightened a little bit. And he looks around the room. Observes the blood and the chaos before him, but it's not a distraction to him. He looks at the pew. He looks at the altar. Looks towards Wisp and saunters his approach. And as he gets closer and closer, the eyes meet of Wisp and Nock. And Nock, the very familiar nod. But then there's confusion on his face. There's this, almost like he is lost in thought, but one thought comes to mind, and he looks to Wisp and says,
You are a Genasi. And I a Goliath. You a monk. And I hail from a barbaric clan up on top of a mountain. I do not know how to bury this man.
When people passed in your tribe, what did you do?
I think overhearing this, and I hate to interrupt, but I think overhearing this, Marcourse is on his way out. Right? He's like carrying this gross thing, right? And he sort of looks around. He's looking at the tapestries on the walls. What do they depict?
So what you see is you see a crowd, or like several people on one tapestry. On the next, they seem to be walking towards what looks to be an archway, like the symbol of Velun, that has the curtain kind of draped. And they are carrying a body, it seems, or a sarcophagus or something. What you then see is there are two people holding each, like, you know, on like on a coffin or whatever, and they go around the veil in this archway, but what they do is they push the body or the person through it, and then they sit at the other side. But there is no coffin or anything on the other side, and then the only other thing you see in the last, it's not a tapestry, it is a mirror.
And Marcoris sort of sees this, and he's like, y'all, I think if you're wondering about a Velunite funeral or whatever, you got instruction manuals on the walls. And then he takes this staff and he pulls this brass brazier and his clipboard out and carries them outside to stay out of it. And then I'm gonna fade to black.
Okay.
Nock looks to Wisp to answer her inquiry, which is,
My people believe in dying out on the battlefield. There is no other place for your soul to reside, except to die with glory. To die by the blade of your enemy, or your ex. This is our burial. This is our ritual.
then he's looking up as he says this, and he looks down to Wisp.
How about you?
She takes a minute and then looks at him. We burn. They believe that without the essence of what we have that makes us whole, that we must burn the flesh, return to smoke, and reunite somewhere else. And then as she's saying this, she kind of looks back at that tapestry that Marcoris said, and then looks over at Vadar's body, and then to Nock. I think we should lay him on the table.
Nock nods one single time. Turns around, and then drops his back very slowly from the bed frame onto this table, stone tablet. My brain's a little foggy, excuse me, but drops him there. Turns back around and sees the blanket that has been wrapped over with the pieces of fabric. And he reaches over and grabs what would be the head of where Vadar's lying and pulls it back to reveal his face.
Wisp takes out a small note that she's had folded and slips it into the fabric. And when she's doing this, she doesn't show it on her face. Her face is very stoic. It's very expressionless, but she's crying. And she kneels at the base of this pedestal and she puts her hands on it. She puts her forehead to it. And she starts speaking in Undercommon. And the premise of what she says is, you came to flesh, and from flesh you will return to whence you came. And after she says that, she gets up and she just lays a hand like on the torso. And she's very just rigid and stoic. And she looks up at the veil and she just stares at it. I don't know what it is I feel, but I feel like there's a hole missing. He was good. He tried. I don't understand.
Nock puts a hand reassuringly on her back and says,
Even through life, even through death, it is difficult to understand why people have to leave, why people die. Does death bring you purpose? For this man in front of us, he is the first through which I have shared. Learning. Openness to the indifference of what I have known. We clung on to this god. Something to which I thought was foolish. Why would anyone try to go ahead and cling on to something you could not see? But he was devout. He was good. Dying to Halifax, or whatever that lich was. To be forgotten underground. To die a warrior's death. Is something I would have wanted for my kin. Not him. Not
Do
him.
you think his God can hear us? Do you think he cares?
Nock looks high into the chapel. Looks at the tapestry.
I am not a person of prayer, Velun. I am not your zealot or acolyte. This man here drinks as much grog as he wants to while he goes ahead and lies with you. Celebrate him as a warrior. Celebrate him.
Wisp will take down the veil that she had hung up, and she'll look back at kind of like the tapestries, like Mark Horace had said about like instructions. And she will take it from one end and she'll lay it over the pedestal over his body so that it's laying long ways and it flows over the ends. And she looks back at the door where the tapestry still is billowing from the actual frame, and it mimics what she was thumbing on the stone. And she looks up as well, and if you must take him with kindness, with justification for the life he lived. Please don't let him be forgotten. Not here. And if there's a way to show us who cared about him so that we can have them pay their respects, please show us. Do not let him be forgotten. Not here.
Nock nods with and puts his arm, his arm beforehand has been resting on the back of Wisp for a long time. You feel the grasp of his big hand as it starts to like bunch your clothing together. When you look, and Nock is a few tears start to roll down his face. She looks upon Vonner.
This is the best that we can do for him. To bring his body in a place familiar, not in the deep dark, not forgotten in Vedranis.
He looks to Wisp.
For it is not Velun who will keep this man alive.
He takes his finger and points to her head, and jabs it twice very gently.
Here. We will keep his memory alive. And he will give us the strength necessary to persevere inside of the City of Madness.
Do you remember why he was here? I think he was trying to find Velun, wasn't he?
He was. He was trying to connect himself to Velun, or the other gods, as he said.
I'm happy we got him here. At least to finish some part of it. I hope he can rest with ease. A peace. I hope he got the answers he wanted on the other side. If there is one.
Several things happen as you're conversing and remembering and mourning. First, Nock, you turn back towards the veil, the door. And you don't realize it at the time. You turn away as you're conversing with Wisp and paying attention to Vodder. This kind of hits you in the midst of that. You see a hooded figure standing in the archway. At first, there's a hope or a thought that it's Kimura. But you realize that the figure is much too tall. Their limbs are much too long. disproportionately so. And there's a feeling of recognition there. You turn to look back, and they're gone. At that point, the sun begins to rise. There are mirrors on the east and west sides of this gateway, as this is what Velunites call their chapels, our gateways. The veil is over Vodder in this cloth. In a very unorthodox and unique thing for Vedranis, and all the time that you've been in this city, you look out one window to the west, and you see the moon disappearing behind the buildings. You look to the east, and you see the sun rising. And the sun continues to rise. And it becomes very blinding. You kind of have to turn away for a moment, close your eyes. Soon that light passes, or it becomes bearable. And as you look back at the altar, there's nothing there. Not in a worrying way. You feel a comfort and a peace wash over you for the first time. That feeling, that pressure that you felt since you've been in the city is gone, just for a moment. And you guys turn and look up at the tapestries again on each side and see yourselves. Just a moment.
Is the veil gone as well that I laid over him?
It is.
She walks back up to the pedestal and thumbs over that sigil again. She looks up at all the tapestries and takes a minute to look between the windows to see the sun and the moon again, and she just bows her head and says, "Thank you."
Nuck puts his hand onto the pedestal. He smirks and he chuckles just a little bit, and he says,
You know, Vodder, never say, I wish you were here to hear me say it, to make my words reality. Looks like you made a believer out of me.
and he turns.
Maybe. Maybe not.
Knock.
Where are you, you son of a bitch? I can hit you.
Wisp smiles. She thumbs over the engraving again. And she just you can tell that she doesn't want to leave, but her body forces her to walk away, and she's keeping her hand on it until the last possible second where it just gently slides off the pedestal. She walks to the front where the veil is. She takes one look over her shoulder again and looks up and just admires the space before she pushes it aside and walks through. outside and just, she kneels. She walks maybe about 10 feet out and just falls to her knees in the snow. For the first time in her whole life, she starts to cry and she starts to shake. And she grabs a handful of snow. She whips it. She just sits there for a second and allows herself to feel what she's feeling.
Knock, as you watch Wisp walk out, you see the reflection of her in this mirror that replaces one of the tapestries in this gateway. As she disappears out of view, off and out of the angle of this mirror, her reflection does not. It stays there. And you look at it a little bit closer. This doesn't look exactly like Wisp. The features are very blurred. The reflection is not clear. There's something else there. And it also walks away maybe 5 seconds after Wisp does.
Knock rotates around the pedestal and makes eye contact. His reflection is in one of the tapestries, right?
Yes, it is.
He makes eye contact with it.
Maybe. Maybe not.
He starts sauntering over towards his reflection.
Maybe. Maybe not.
And he gets right up to it, as close as he can. He repeats it one last time.
Maybe. Maybe not.
And he puts his hand on the tapestry. Does it do the same action?
It does.
If I take my hand away, does it take its hand away?
It does.
If I put my hand, he retracts his hand a little. And he questions it. But then there's just this flow of just reality. Almost truth. And he puts his hand on the tapestry again, but he pushes. Do I feel that other thing pushing back?
You feel the glass of the mirror. It feels normal, which is comforting, I would say, maybe to you. You feel a very strong sense of self.
Knock wipes his tears off of his face. IRL. He says to himself,
You came all the way from this mountain to seek glory for your own self. to retain some sort of status between you and your people. Nothing could have foretold that one of the main things that would make you whole is the loss of a priest. This is glorious.
And he turns and he walks away from the mirror and makes his way back outside. And if there's anything else that happens, please let me know. If not, then get the hell out of this church.
You walk away from the mirror. Maybe take a step back to make sure it's following you. And it is.
He walks back outside, one last hand brush onto the to the place where we put fodder, and he just looks back up and says,
Velun, fodder, guide my axe.
and he just keeps on walking towards the door to eventually where if he comes across, he walks outside, very still, not a slow pace, very set pace, and goes to Wisp, who's on her knees, and crouches down. And grabs her by her back and kind of caresses it. It's very weird for someone like Nock to show compassion, to show mourning to somebody who's not of kin. But he understands the pain of the heart. And he whispers,
This place did not make fodder, and his death does not define us. Rise up. Rise up.
She nods and wipes the tears from her eyes, and you can see in the time that she spent after she gripped that snow and tossed it away. In the snow she drew a little bit, but picture that looks like the symbol of Velun. She puts her hand right in the center of it as she helps herself up. She stands up and kind of just like stretches for a minute, assessing herself, and then without her wrapping, you see all the eyes moving around, and she just turns and looks back and nods at the church and looks at Nock and goes, "We should find Marcoris."
And on cue, Marcoris approaches from a short distance away, Jerry on his shoulder, and dragging that disgusting thing behind him. And he says, "All right, y'all, you ready to get moving? Did you get everything you needed?"
Yeah. Did you
All right.
figure out what that is?
DM, did I?
Are you going to use any spells on it, or
No, I'm just gonna take a short rest with it.
Okay. Yes. This item, as I said before, is called the Lord of the Flies.
Lord of the Flies.
It is a pike. It requires attunement. Do you want me to read the backstory for this thing?
Nah,
for
you can tell us between
Okay.
sessions.
I'll tell you between sessions.
And Marcoris says, "Yeah, I got an idea what it does."
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be good for you, Wisp, I guess, but only if you want to wield this thing. Let's keep it with us for the time being.
She nods, and you see
Uh-huh.
her kind of pull from her pack just a scarf. And she covers up as many of the eyes as she can with this scarf, because I imagine since it's close to her, she can feel it uncomfortably buzzing.
And as she's doing that, and as soon as she gets around, she feels that weight on her shoulder, and Jerry lands there and sits there. And Marcor says, "Okay, to the northwest. Then to the north, yeah? Let's get us some weed."
Wisp will kind of headbutt Jerry for a minute and nod.
And he slightly does the same.
She'll adjust her pack and then look towards Knock.
Knock nods twice.
Let us fix the after effects of this damn city.
And as they head off down the road, you can hear, I feel like the camera's pulling back, and you can hear Marcor say, "Who's that guy in the doorway?"
Knock
keep on.
full stops. Look towards the doorway. What do we see?
No, who was that
Yeah,
guy?
he said who was, but you look back and it's just a veil, just as you had walked past it.
And he goes, and Knock looks to Marcoris with a smile and says,
Memory. A good memory.
and turns to keep on walking.
Okay. What we see is the three of you, along with Aiden, walking down this frost-covered roadway towards the northwest. As the sun continues to rise, and soon we watch as the camera kind of continues to pan up past, just right at the kind of the edge and the peak of the temple, and you guys kind of disappear from view. But as we see you disappear from view and we kind of zoom out, there's a symbol of, like, there's a kind of like what would be a cross or something kind of marking the top of this temple, of this gateway. We see a cloaked figure standing on the roof, watching you as you guys walk away. Their hand is gloved. We can't see any of their skin as we kind of see their back, but they're kind of holding on to this. But their fingers are much too long, abnormally so. Their arms are kind of gangly. All of a sudden, we hear a, and the figure turns quickly to the side, and we see a familiar facial structure, and it turns back and looks at you, disappearing into the distance, as all of a sudden disappears into a green, liquidy light. And that is where we're going to end our session for tonight.
I have theories.
I have a theory.
Oh, I
It's
got
a
it.
demon.
I've got a theory, and I think I know exactly who it is. Oh,
Good.
my heart.
Wow, that turned into a big one.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was
Wow,
something.
that happened.
that
Well,
was
no, mission
incredible.
complete.
Mission complete.
Mission complete. We delivered the corpse. Mission complete.
Thank
tried to
you.
say
Oh,
that.
go ahead. Go. Yeah,
Oh
you
my
guys talk.
gosh.
You guys talk.
Well, I mean, I'll say it on my turn, but I was going to say that the Vodder inside me is so happy right now, and so at peace. You know,
I have never
very
had
good.
such a complete circle for a death of a character. Ever.
That was
Yeah,
a
right?
long
That was
time
satisfying.
coming.
That was
It
a really
long time
satisfying.
coming.
I mean,
And
what session did
everything
he pass away?
I have
Oh,
that for you. I
gosh.
literally wrote down
I
at
think
the
it
end
was
of the
session
session.
zero.
I think
Died.
so. The session
It was
13.
session 12. It was
Yeah,
12.
session 12 because session 13 was lost
12
beyond the
sessions
veil.
ago.
Yeah, 12 sessions
Yeah.
ago.
It was
Which
halfway
is
through. what
halfway
we-
through what we've been through already.
So we had his body with us for 12. We found his body in session 15, I believe.
15, 16.
Was
I
it
think.
15 that you guys
Yeah.
went back?
Yeah, because no, we did. We
Oh,
he
no, wait.
died.
No,
we
you
died
went
in
you went
Darla.
back. Yeah, you went back. It was session 20
It was
or
after-
21.
Yeah,
I think it was 20.
It was 20. It was 20 because that's when we got into.
You got back to the mausoleum.
We got into the room. We dealt with her, and then we decided to leave and go through to find the entrance again.
Yep.
Yeah, it was session 20. So we've had his body for four sessions.
Yeah, and he passed away. Yeah, like I said, 12 sessions
Gone
ago.
for 12.
12
Yeah, that's
sessions ago.
wild.
Yeah.
That's wild.
It's just wild to go ahead and have such a crazy character death means so much to characters, but to progress story for a barbarian, a man that never understood fucking religion, period, and had this man talking about there's multiple gods or whatever, and it was nonsense, and just
Yeah.
there was something very magical about that entire moment. Something I can honestly sit there and say that Mr. Crimbo, Justin, fucking Vodder was not only an absolute pleasure to go ahead and play with, but everything about that character was just fantastic. Just
I
top
loved
fucking
him
drawer,
so
dude.
much. Yeah, thank you.
Top fucking drawer. That was amazing.
I love how bits of him have stayed with the party. Like I really love how much of an effect he had on our characters, and I really enjoyed the full circle of like he came here, to meet the gods, to see if they were still real, to see what was going on, and he made believers out of two people who never ever would have touched it with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah.
It's very
Yeah.
effectful.
Oh my god.
Yeah, there's lots of big questions here, but I think that the cool thing is like the story and the way that a death can affect people in different ways that sort of I saw so much growth today in both of your characters and like just new purpose and like it was so beautiful. And you two, fucking hell. Like it was just
Amazing. I was so
Oh.
glad I just got to sit back and listen to it the whole time. It was
It's one of those.
amazing.
It's one of
I
those.
turned my camera off.
lessons.
I was stuffing Cheez-Its in my mouth and crying.
I love it. Appropriate
yeah.
way to celebrate your character death.
That's
I just-
appropriate.
I just hate you so much for the disembodied.
Maybe not.
maybe
That
not.
broke
Not do it.
me
Look at it right there.
Broke me.
Yep, I was like,
That was
is-
so
is
appropriate. That was so
blurry.
appropriate.
Oh my
It was
god.
so great. Yeah.
And thank
Cole,
you
can
so
we do
much.
the outros.
Yeah, and just thank you
Yeah,
so
thank
much,
you.
Cole, also for the great setup for scene and whatnot too, because everything about the tapestry and
Oh.
all that jazz. I mean, I could gush about the DMing all day, so I'll let you get to the outros because I'll just gush after you after.
Aw,
I got you.
guys. Well, thank you, everybody.
Afterward, Derek's gonna gush all over.
Yep, that's exactly what I've been waiting.
Nut.
for.
I get a nut in the chat, guys. Nut in chat. Thank you very
Oh
much.
my
Appreciate it.
god! Thank you, everybody, so much for hanging out with us tonight. Thank you for all the follows. Thank you for everybody who's been in chat. Like we saw some new faces, we saw some super old and familiar faces. We love you guys so much. Thank you for the bits again, Ink. We will not be here next week because of Thanksgiving, for those who celebrate and everything like that. But we will be back for hopefully a very, very, very special episode on December 2nd. So
So excited.
stay tuned for that. We are all so excited. This has been a while in the making. So we're almost there. So make sure to stay tuned then. Let's just go around the cast. We'll do your outros, and let's start with Justin.
Okay.
Kind of man of not the hour because Mark Morris wasn't
Yes,
there,
man.
but Vodder was. But
First of all, if you've never had the chance to have people whose role play you really esteem and care about talk about you while you get to sit off camera, It's very nice.
All the endorphins, all the validation.
All the validations. My words of affirmation is tingling. It's so nice. I want to put this in there too before I talk about myself, is that like one of the greatest joys I had was that Cole and I worked on the pantheon of this world before the campaign even started, and so Vadr for me was one walking aspect. And Ket and Aiden was another aspect, and it's just really cool to see all these different gods interacting with this awful world in this dire situation. So it's really rewarding, and Vadr was a real treat too. And Marcoris is a real treat, but also an asshole. I'm Doc Rimbo. You can find me on Twitch or Twitter under that name. Twitch, I've been streaming a lot more, especially with Red Dead. Things are heating up for Deputy Jonah Harper over in Rhodes, and it's a lot of fun, and we're having a good time over there. So hopefully I will work out all the bugs that I have going on right now and maybe upgrade my computer soon and be back with more streams in a moment. I need to find like a couple $1,000, but it's somewhere.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
It's somewhere. I'll find it.
We'll figure it out.
And come by and see me there any old time. I love and adore all of you. And that's all I have to say about that.
Amazing. Okay. Ray.
Oh, hey, I'm Ray, or With the Brick everywhere on the interwebs. That's With the Brick with 2 Ks. You can find me over on Twitch, the same name, Twitter, the same name, Instagram, the same name, and anywhere else you try and find me, I'll probably show up somewhere. Yeah, I've been streaming kind of more often than I used to, but I'm still figuring out my new schedule with my new work schedule. So next week I'll be streaming a whole lot more, and it'll be really cool. I'll be doing some GTA RP, diving back into Red Dead RP, and I've got a plethora of really cool video games that I'm going to be doing playthroughs of. So it's a whole bunch of content that's going to be thrown at you. If you're interested in any of that, follow me, like, subscribe, all that goodness, and I'll see y'all next time. But especially here on Thursdays, where I play Wisp, who is emotionally maturing as an adult, it seems, which is very cool.
And she saw her soul in a mirror.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it. Yeah, Wisp didn't see it. But Nox saw it. Nox saw what my soul looks like. So we'll see if that ever comes into contact with her, because that would be massive. But thank you for making me cry today, Lacuna. Thank you for making me cry, Doc. I appreciate you. And thank you for being my partner in crying over there. God, I fucking loved that whole scene. That whole scene with you is incredible. Thank you for giving that to me, Derek. I really appreciate you.
If anything, thank you so much for helping me shepherd it. All right.
Yes.
At the end of the day, it takes 2 to tango, there, darling. All right. Or should I say 3, 4?
Takes two people with a pulse and 1 dead person.
Heyo.
Heyo.
What a floppy dancing that would be. Like a wacky inflatable flailing arm man.
Like Weekend at Bernie's over here.
We need to toss it back to Justin for just a second.
Yeah. Cole reminds me. One thing I wanted to plug and I forgot is one other thing I do is that I run our Flames of Freedom campaign, and either on January 10th or 17th, we'll be back with season 2 of Flames of Freedom with Colonomicon and Wally and Greek Sid and Kate Madison, and we if it's like X-Files during the Revolutionary War. So that's all you need to know about that show, and it's super fun, and I'm excited for that. So we'll be pushing that a little bit more as December goes on.
Yes, and we're super excited for that. That's another amazing group. Like, if you haven't watched season 1, go back on YouTube and watch season 1, because it's cool. So cool. It is so great. It's a wonderful.
It's very funny.
Yeah,
it's very funny.
Speaking of Greek Sid,
Game Nights with Greek Sid.
Raid. Thank you so much.
Oh, hi.
Game Nights. We're ending, but I was just talking about season 2 of Flames of Freedom coming in January.
Yep. Holy, hello everybody. Let's slide it on to Derek.
See, Derek. Hello, my name is Derek. That dwells on top of a mountain. Where you can find me at atop Derek Mountain on anything and all things: Twitter, YouTube, Twitch. About 7 days out of the week, just because I love going ahead and spending my time with the community and others and our peers and whatnot. The things you might find me doing on top of that mountain is playing a lot of different games. Been playing the hell out of Halo Infinite, Battlefield 2042, and just doing my best to pew pew and kill as many people as possible. But in the meantime, if I'm not doing that, I'm trying to do my best to cultivate story on Wild RP, which is a Red Dead Redemption server where I play Zhang Wei, who's a Chinese calling Mughal, on top of the fact that we're Chuge and a bunch of other people. And hopefully I get to be able to play my cultist hillbilly real soon and be able to do some magic with that soon enough. But feel free to come on down and see what the hell's going on with that. And you can find me here again every Thursday playing this big burly rock man. This man just keeps on making that belt look prettier and prettier and fucking prettier, man. Oh my god.
Will Nock ever run out of space? We'll find out. That's going to be a dire situation for Nock if he ever runs out of space for trophies on his belt.
No, after he does 12, he's out. The City of Vedranis, he's 86.
Like, I get annoyed when I have too many keys on my key ring. Like, Nock is just like clanking around with all this stuff on his belt.
I love it.
That's, sneaking will never be a thing later on. Never.
Eventually, the belt is just too much. Granted, he has also he has a talking orb now, so on his belt too. That's just
So
going to
cool.
continue to talk.
I love the
so,
relationship between Halifax and Nock.
Yeah, and I'm excited to have that keep building and whatnot.
Yeah, just
so.
keep that in the mind the entire time. I really cannot wait to go ahead and have my interactions with that man or boy.
It's going to be so good. I'm Cole or Lacuna RP. You can find me at Lacuna RP on Twitter and Twitch, where I'm not super active. I'm usually here every Thursday, mostly every Thursday, playing this wonderful game with these wonderful people. So, go follow them. Go give them the love because these guys work hard at what they do and we love them so much. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with us tonight. Thank you, Raiders, again. It's just that terrible timing where everybody, like, we raid people as they're ending. It's happening.
We need to
us.
coordinate with G Game Nights.
Yes.
Yeah.
So next season, we don't overlap exactly.
Yes.
Yes.
We can start a mutual pact of raidership.
Exactly. So, but thank you guys so much for the raid. If you guys, enjoyed or want to see what happens in a couple weeks with an exciting episode of Vedranis and Flames of Freedom, which your lovely Greek said plays on for next season. You can follow, do all that subscription stuff if you want on YouTube and things to catch up. But that will be it for us tonight. We are going to do a raid, so make sure to stay tuned after the credits.
TPK roleplay.
We're going to be raiding TPK roleplay, so stay tuned after the credits. We love you so much. Stay safe, and we will see you guys in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.